Hello developers, today in part 3 of this tutorial, we are going to see this amazing working functionality of our chatting application. So once I enter this valid email, it directly send OTP to the entered email address, right? So I can just see my email, so the OTP is sent, and once I enter this valid OTP only, we move to further process, right? So for a new user, I need to be enter my password with all the requirements. Password need to be matched, and once done, I can just upload my image and name this complete profile. So everything is done, right? It is just worked by this API integration. I can just simply hit my postman to see chat is sent successfully here, and the OTP is once done. Verify OTP. I'm just entering this OTP with this current value, right? 414 something. Everything is once verified. It gives a message OTP verified successfully. In second time, it is just an invalid OTP only, right? Let's see the further implementation faster. So for this, I'm going to create two models like OTP request and OTP response within this model package. So OTP request contains my email parameters, right? So in type of string and OTP in a type of string. And OTP response contains message, you can see here, message and boolean value success. Val success equal to boolean value. It's a type of boolean and message is a type of string, right? This model is going to parse and use in our function. This is the first step for the API integration. And let's add the dependency for retrofit, by which only we are using our API connection, right? I'm going to use com.square.retrofit2 name equal to retrofit and just give the version. I'm just giving current version up to my time of our video, right? 2.9.0. That's cool. And another dependency like JSON converter JSON. Cool. Once sync the project, the dependency are downloaded by our project. And further, these initialization need to add in build.gradle file. That's the second part. JSON converter. Cool. And again sync the project. We are ready to move to the next step. We need to create another like object of retrofit to create the instance of our application. So here only I'm going to use the base URL. You can see the base URL here, right? By which we are going to request this. Just write a function get instance retrofit. Once sync, the retrofit will come here. You can just see this is for every API integration. This is the mandatory steps. Just import this and build. Cool. Once everything is done, we can get this instance and use in our application. Further, I'm going to create another API service interface by which I'm using my endpoint. So here I'm going to use two functions, send OTP and another function, verify OTP. Return type is OTP response only, both functions. I'm just sending my request in body, right? So if I send it via body, it will send us key value pair like email and OTP, like that stuff. Here I'm going to use post as I used in my postman, like the same send OTP and verify OTP endpoints. Keep following this, and I just need to pass this header as application content type or something, application JSON. Cool. need for this function also. You can see this raw we are using the JSON format. Because of that only I'm just using. So setup of the retrofit is done. We can directly use this retrofit in our application through view model. Here I'm using view model because I'm using MVVM approach, model view model. You can initialize with application Android view model of application, right? Value API equal to retrofit service. So I'm just getting that instance and create that instance within our view model, right? Once then I can use that send and verify OTP functions here through this key API. As you see, we need to pass email and OTP. For sending OTP, it can be done also, empty also. So before that, I'm just creating some empty value like email. Through by using this variable only, we will access throughout the project. All API calls must be happened within the scope, right? View model scope launches a like kind of thread functions and separately. So this is a API call going to happen separately in threads. Once then, I'm just storing my response and check it is success or not, kind of. If it is successfully, I'm just proceeding. Else, we stay here with the toast. So toast is a kind of message showing by which the user can know why it's failed, right? To use this toast, we need a context. For this, I'm going to get application context like that. Oops, once success only, we need to show this failure, the OTP not said, just a failure. Kind of message, why it's failed, like that.
It's 6:30.
Similar with verify OTP also. Here I just need a OTP, right? We can't share empty, we need to pass the OTP itself. We need to pass this like first we need to create an instance of view model here. Models. Just input this. Cool. We can now use this view model throughout the function. Option enter or alt enter to input this directly, or you manually import within our function. I'm just removing this because I'm directly going to use my email from view model, right? Just change everywhere. Send OTP with that controller. And OTP success, I'm just navigate to next screen, which is OTP screen, right? So hope everything is clear until here. I'm just using dollar operator to use directly the email value is here. Once verify success only, we need to navigate to the next page, right? Cool. Before that, we need to add internet permission in manifest to make sure that API calls must be happen with online. Let's run the project. It's working, but I just need additional functionality like loading. As you can saw that loader that, right? For that, I'm going to use state flow of boolean, something like this. Collect as whenever the values changes, it we can directly collect as a state and can show the loader here, right? Modify dot fill max size to take the entire size, right? And within this box, I'm going to use this loader. Why here I'm going to use box? Because we are just overlapping content on top of that, right? So box is the only way. Circular progress indicator. Cool. And background later, I just dim it out to 30%. 0.3f of black. Now it looks perfect. So we need to set loader to true, false, and all, right? False. But here's a catch. We can't directly call the API calls here. We can use try catch to avoid unavoidable exceptions and all. Finally, block only will execute. Everything is working done only at complete top. When you enter valid email, you can see the loader will be there and the OTP is also sent. Cool. And just following the same try catch here and the loading concept also here. If it is an exception, we can just show the toast, or else finally we can false this. So here's a catch. One, if you see this, like if it is a app closes directly, you can just check the fatal in logcat. If it is a socket timeout exception, you might retry because we are using free tier of our API. Next part, we are focusing on integrating Firebase, right? So OTP and all is working fine. We are just integrating Firebase with another app. We may double shift and check with Firebase, right? I'm just creating a new project. Select account, create project. This panel come by double shifting and click search for Firebase, right? So don't forget that. Further, I'm going inside my chat application and there's a thing called email. I need to enable this, right? In authentication lab. Once logged in, user will become here. So similarly, we're going to use Firebase Firestore. Just create a database. Next, I'm going to use in text mode, creating this. Once done, our data will be stored by here. So here I'm just changing to true to work for now. We can create a user with email and password, kind of, and add on success listener. No, add on complete listener will be fine, and add or failure listener if it is exception is there. Same logic. I'm just showing my toast here. Same thing. IT.exception will be fine. Message. When the register user will happen, it will happen in password screen lab. If the both passwords are valid, we can proceed. Right. Just add the parameter, view model, controller. Once everything is done, button is clicked. We can just call it out. Register user with this password. And pass the nav controller. Once navigate once successfully. Cool. Simple as such. Same try catch. Stories. Catch E exception. Finally, loader. I'm just passing the loader. So once account is created successfully, we need to store this user data, right? For this, I'm going to use this logics. Yeah, I'm just going to store everything like user ID, everything in Firebase Firestore. Email to user.email. Name. For now, I didn't prompt the name, so just set to our empty for now. We'll add the name in next screen. And same Firebase lab, Cloud Firestore. We need to add this dependency and all. Once synced down, we can use this Firebase Firestore dot get instance something. So type collection name is users because we are storing user data. We need to store with unique ID, right? So something unique for all users, which is user ID, and set this kind of key values data. Once everything is successful, I'm just going to add a success listener and failure listener. Once successful, just navigate to the next screen, which is profile screen. Once failure, just to show the message, like why it's failure, right? IP message. as simple as such. Oops. Just read on the project, it will get works. Nothing much. Valid password is enter. We are just navigate to the user registration. Navigate to the next screen, and here we need to see this. We can see this, right? Both are created. You need to add image and a name. So for this, I'm going to add this in profile screen. Where it is. Next, okay. Upload image, which is selected image and name. I'm just going to pass here, and also in a controller. Function upload image. It has a 3 parameters: name, URL like a string, and controller, a snap controller. Same story, like I'm just going to copy and paste this. Context. Nothing's there. We're just returning it to avoid these crashes. And here I'm going to use base 64 image. Basically, I'm just converting my image into a string formats to store. Same the above story, like UID, email, name, value, email.value, name. Here I just have my name to set here. Profile image, and created it. Once done, the same story. Oops, we just remove this and all. We have a UUID. No, that will be fine. On successfully navigated, we just use this. Before that, we focusing on our image uploading logic, right? Context. Mal input string. First, I'm just initializing my input streams and converting into bytes because we are just going to store my image into a kind of binary formats bits. Just adding return type and return base64. Make sure you input this. No. It is also not there. So Android util, right? Cool. So once then, I'm just going to use here, pass the context and URL dot to URL. Cool. And a base condition if it is greater than 300 KB basically. We are just using the user, like choosing smaller image kind of. So once then, I'm just navigate to chat. Right. So let me run my existing accounts and all. To again create a new user. Run this. We are checking. Cool. Everything is working perfectly fine. Right. Data is stored here. Cool. And here comes our final part. We are checking like it is existing user or new user once the OTP is verified, right? Because we can't frequently register new users. So to check this condition, we are going to use this function Firebase Firestore collection of users. Check where the email is already existing or not. If it is there, we can return something like this. Exists. So if it is there means it returns true, else it returns false. So we need to call this once OTP is verified is the legitimate user, so we can navigate to the login screen. Go to login page, else just go to this password screen. Here's the tricky part. We need to alter our password screen to kind of login screen, right? And just copy the entire password screen. Here there is only one password field only is there. No need of confirm password. I'm just removing that and all. Welcome back. Enter your password to login. Kind of the password, the email is there. It's okay. The second text field like confirm password is not needed here. Just removing it. Hope that's it. Once the button click, we need to log in the user, right? Let's changing this continue to submit. only login is not initialized. I'm just going to create a function to log in. So similar to the registry, so and the question is just success and failure listen it also is enough. No, just use the IT.message, this exception message. And just again passing this controller here. Once login, we need to move to chat, right? Controller dot navigate chat, and also controller dot navigate login. This login screen must be initialized in main activity. Just duplicate here. Login screen. Oops, we need to add sign in with email and password, because login we need to sign in with register only. We need to use create user with email and password. So keep in mind. Let's run our project for the final time. Let me create a, let me run this. It is already a login account, right? So I'm just verifying my OTP. So you can check. Welcome back. So I'm just entering my password. Just directly go to the chat screen. Cool. So the entire authentication module is done. Hope you love this. Keep supporting. And next part we can run chat screen. Thank you.